As a person who isn't a hardcore fan of comic books, I will be comparing and contrasting the difference between DC and Marvel comics through their portrayal of Wonder Woman and Storm. I honed in on these two superheroes because they're supposedly counterparts in their corresponding universes. I will examine their origin stories, their differing auras in terms of looks and color schemes, and their place in their corresponding universes as women superheroes. Wonder Woman is the warrior princess of the Amazon and a founding member of the Justice League. She's known as Princess Diana of Themyscira in her homeland, and as Diana Prince, her secret identity outside of her homeland. Her origin story has it that her mother sculpted her from clay. She was created out of love and not through a mutation like Storm. Storm is a member of X-Men, which is a group of mutant superheroes who fight for peace and equality between mutants and humans. Aurora, which is her native name, was born in Harlem in New York City and later moved to Cairo, Egypt. After an air attack in the Suez Crisis, which killed both of her parents, she was left an orphan and got around by learning how to become a skillful thief. Wonder Woman first appeared in 1941 in an all-star comic number 8, which was during World War II. During this time, the comics that were produced incorporated real events into their storylines, which increased attention. Her role initially was to fight Axis military forces and supervillains during this time. Her patriotic costume exemplifies her purpose further. Storm first appeared in 1975 in Giant Size X-Men 1. She is a very important superhero because she is the first female African-American superhero. At first, X-Men was supposed to be an all-male team, but the editor decided to incorporate a female, Storm. At first look, it is evident that Wonder Woman represents the U.S. because of her color scheme and the stars, even though she isn't a native to U.S. She's a colorful superhero, which attracts the eye. In her portrait, she's staring away from the center in a graceful way, which is a way to portray her femininity, which is seen with her heavily made-up face, regardless of her powerful and dangerous nature. Storm is an edgier superhero than Wonder Woman. She is portrayed with dark colors, which enhances her mysterious aura. She isn't a native to America, which is seen through the choice of color. The colors in the self-portrait are muted and dark, which could indicate her maturity level because of her troubled past. In her self-portrait, she's looking away just like Wonder Woman, but she has an angry and serious expression, which is also a contrast from Wonder Woman's nonchalant one. This is the first page cover of Wonder Woman's debut. It is lively and bright, which is most likely to interest more readers. It is placed in front of a yellow circle, which is another way of emphasizing her importance in her first appearance. She appears patriotic, muscular, feminized, and at the same time. She is fighting three men, which could represent the Axis powers in World War II. This is the first page cover of Storm's debut. She's above the rest of her team, the X-Men, which shows how she's the focus of her comic because it's her debut. Storm has a fearless and an angry expression on her face, which exemplifies her aura as a violent superhero. She doesn't have her own cover without her team, which is the opposite of how Wonder Woman is portrayed. Here is a picture of founders of the Justice League, which portrays Batman, Aquaman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Each superhero is represented through their abilities, in which Wonder Woman is shown holding her lasso of truth. Her placement in her team is also very notable. It appears as though she is farthest back, which could emphasize the role of women in society during this time. This is the X-Men team. The superheroes are represented with their corresponding abilities, just like the Justice League superheroes were. Storm also seems as though she's farther back from her team, which represents the fact that she joined the team later than the rest of her members that are up front. She's also the only superhero who has mainly a black costume, whereas her teammates are more colorful. This is an also contrast from her members. Wonder Woman is a strategist, fighter, acrobat, and hardcore athlete. She's also an expert in Amazonian martial arts and skilled in using the Amazon bracelets to stop bullets and wield her lasso of truth. Her outfit consists of a breastplate, tiara, bracelets, and her 5 pointed star symbols. Her main weapon is her lasso of truth, which compels everyone who comes into contact with it to tell the absolute truth. It is also indestructible. Storm is known as one of the most powerful mutants. Her main ability to manipulate the weather, meaning temperature, humidity, moisture, and lightning, and storm control. She's also a user of magic and witchcraft, which she inherited from her ancestors. Because of her troubled past in Cairo, she learned to become a skillful thief, which is one of the abilities she still uses. Wonder Woman's costume is red, white, and blue. Her costume is made up of primary colors, which portrays the simple yet powerful impact her costume has on her character in total. There is a tremendous contrast between the red and gold in her costume, which correlates with her aggressive yet prestigious nature. Her costume shows off her figure and feminizes her, which is due to the nature of comics in general to sexualize female superheroes. Storm's costume is in equal parts revealing, just like Wonder Woman's. Her Her costume's color scheme is black and gold, which suits her personality and character. Her long white hair contrasts with her darker skin tone and her black costume. Even though the color schemes are totally different, they both serve the purpose of contrasting and focusing on the superhero. Here are several versions of Wonder Woman's logos. Her logos are bright, just like her costume. The top two logos have the same color scheme of red, white, blue, and gold, and are very similar. The stars in the color blue make those two more representative of the U.S. than the gold and red logo on the bottom. The bottom logo was developed a bit later, which could explain the change in color scheme. Here are three versions of Storm's logos. Her color scheme definitely matches her costume. They aren't as bright as Wonder Woman's, which is a recurring detail throughout DC and Marvel. Her logos are definitely contrasted within the color scheme, just like her costume. Her logos to me definitely seem more mysterious and dark, which represents her serious, bold, and sophisticated self. Here I incorporated a panel of Wonder Woman's comic. She's talking to a group of girls about how they need to free themselves and that they can control those who oppress others. She also says, "You can do it," which is a reference to Rosie the Riveter. This is a portrayal of her belief in gender roles and the society. Here is a panel from Storm's comic, which portrays her talking with her ex-husband. It has a different feel from Wonder Woman's opposition to being oppressed by men. The fact that Storm was married provides insight about how she isn't opposed to gender roles as Wonder Woman is. In conclusion, there are visible differences between the portrayal of Wonder Woman in DC Comics and Storm in Marvel. DC tends to use brighter color schemes to attract the eye, whereas Marvel tends to use darker color schemes and high contrast. This is one way that Marvel attracts audiences. Wonder Woman is important to DC because she